Okay, so with the grafting, let's cut this potato plant off at a point that matches the same thickness of our cutting, and I would recommend doing this in a shaded area away from the wind. Now we're going to slice down the middle of the stem a few centimetres deep. Now using the tomato cutting, I'm just doing a long angled cut on both sides to create a V that's about the same length as the slice that we made in the potato stem. It might take a few goes to get it to the right shape, so don't worry if you need to do multiple cuts. It definitely took me a few goes to get it right. Now we can just push the tomato plant into the potato stem, and since we have the same thickness, it should line up on both sides, but if it doesn't, just focus on making sure one side lines up really well, with the outer part of the stem staying flush. Last thing I'm doing is just wrapping it in some grafting tape to hold it tightly together, and I'm just wrapping it around nice and secure. You can also use like a grafting clip instead to hold these together, but I figured the tape should give a bit of extra protection from the graft drying out. One last thing I'm testing out is doing a whip and tongue graft to see if this works any better than the cleft graft. It's basically cutting an angled cut on both the potato and on the tomato, and then coming about a third of the way down and slicing down into the stem of both. Then you can just slide them together and the tongues should just hold them in place, ready to then wrap them up in the grafting tape. Since these potatoes have grown multiple stems, I figure I may as well just increase my chances and graft onto every stem. And I did lose track of where I planted all the different tomato varieties, so if all these grafts work, then we should end up with a plant that has several different tomato varieties all growing on the same plant, so that could be pretty cool. So the reason for planting the potatoes in small pots is so that I could easily bring them indoors into the shade while the grafts heal, which should hopefully just take around a week or so. I'm covering just one of these with a bag to increase the humidity and test out if this is something that they'll benefit from or not. But that's pretty much it, we'll see how it goes. And I thought I'd quickly mention